All right, and welcome back to the Royal Vision podcast. As always, I'm your host, Alex Taylor, and today we have a senior from the baseball team. They just got off their rounds in Fort Myers. They played a couple of games. We're going to talk about that real quick, but currently they're going 8-3 overall and 2-1 in the landmark conference play. He's our left-handed pitcher, and his name is Chris Gutt. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey,
Excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you on here, too. I mean, you guys are on fire right now. I mean, you guys were playing some great ball down there in Fort Myers.
Yeah, definitely. It's good way to get away from the weather up here sometimes, get down in the sun and get a bunch of games in. It was nice. We played 5 games in I think 5 days, so got a lot of different pieces in off our bench and stuff, and got to see the depth on our team, which is really good this year. So
how were the teams you were playing down there?
Really good. Really good competition. I know we made a strong point this year in scheduling a stronger schedule, which is going to help us later in the season, tournament time and all that. So played Babson, which is a really good school every year, Augustana, Franklin Marshall, Haverford. So a lot of good teams, and I think we're going to be better for it.
Absolutely. So you're actually not too far away from the U right now. You're from Narberth, Pennsylvania. You said at St. Joe's Prep. What was maybe some of the beginning of your baseball career?
Yeah, definitely. I've been playing baseball as long as I can remember. Little League, all that jazz, that you do as a kid. Obviously ended up playing in high school ball and then travel ball outside of high school ball. And, I started to think about playing college ball. It actually kind of came to me before I kind of realized that I wanted to do it. I've always been kind of a taller kid, bigger kid. Being left-handed helps too. So I had some coaches looking at me and reaching out, and, that kind of sparked my interest before I had even thought about college ball. And the chips fell where they did, and here I am today. So,
are you primarily left-handed?
Yeah, I do pretty much everything left-handed except I kick with my right foot. Still can't figure out why, but
yeah, I know some, like when I was playing, Little League and stuff like that. I was I bat lefty.
Yeah, okay,
but I'm full righty. Just very interesting. Some people teach it like that. So
yeah, no, I do everything left-handed except for kick.
All right, so I mean, it's in your nature. You're
exactly.
So going into that, that middle school, going through that high school transition, you were scouted for the Royals, right? How did that feel?
Yeah, it was cool. I had reached out to Coach Bartoletti here because I had some interest in the school. I went to a Jesuit high school, so I was looking at some other Jesuit schools for college. I eventually came up to one of their ID camps, talked with coaching staff there. They invited me back to have a recruiting visit, and kind of sat down and talked about the steps going forward from there, and then eventually obviously made the decision to come here, which was big. So it was a good process. Obviously, it's a little weird, the whole recruiting process in general, but I always had a positive relationship with the coaching staff here, and I always thought the school was going to be a good place for me, so I was super happy that it worked out.
How was your year during the COVID transition? Because I believe that was your sophomore year?
That was my freshman year.
Freshman year, okay.
My senior year of high school was when COVID hit, so we missed our senior season. And then our first full freshman season here was COVID. Obviously, it was different. We played only conference games that year. And, obviously it was weird and all. We were COVID testing before every trip. And what we did was we played every team 4 times on the weekend. We would do 2 home and 2 away. So it was travel between all the weekends. So obviously a weird season, but we were lucky enough to play a full conference schedule, and we eventually ended up winning the landmark that year. So that was actually one of the cooler moments in my time here playing baseball.
How did the viewership and audience work during that time?
So there were no fans allowed technically at the games. For those that are familiar with our field, the Lackawanna Heritage Trail runs kind of right parallel to our field. So some parents that really wanted to found the loophole that they could go and stand on the trail and watch the games there. So believe it or not, we actually still had a good amount of fans, which obviously speaks to our parents and their support. It's great and all. But yeah, it was weird. There were technically no fans allowed at the game. So within the premise of the field and stuff, it was just the players and the umpires and stuff. So it was definitely weird, a little more quiet and all that, but it worked. So
absolutely. You guys said you were even able to have those fans. I mean, they found a way. How important are the fan base to your guys' success?
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. I mean, we love playing at home. We're lucky enough to have one of the nicer facilities, I think, in Division III. Turf field, lights, brand new locker rooms, everything like that. We're really blessed to have the facilities that we do. But to add on top of that, playing at home, especially when the weather gets nice and a lot of students are coming out and standing down the lines, and really excited for weekend series. I know it gets all our guys juiced up, especially when we're playing some of our rivals like Catholic and Susquehanna and stuff. So
yeah, I can't wait to be there on the sideline in April because it's going to be beautiful, and absolutely Maggie's Field, fantastic.
Yeah, there's nothing better than getting out watching a baseball game when it's sunny out and warm.
So we were talking a little bit before, and you said you were injured last season.
Yeah.
So now you're coming back in the season ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's the attitude you're bringing?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously not easy being injured. I tore my labrum in my shoulder, so I had that repaired December of last school year, so my junior year. Missed, obviously, my whole junior season. Did the rehab. Obviously stayed around the team still and all that. Did my rehab, did my throwing plan, and got back and I played a full season this year, full fall ball, and just made my first appearance back down in Florida. So obviously that felt great. It's a big weight off my shoulders to get that one under the belt. Obviously, nerves a little bit, first time on the bump in a while. So it was good to get that out of the way. And, now I'm feeling a little bit more confident and like I can take a deep breath and help our team moving forwards. But obviously a lot of hard work. It's not easy being injured. So it's a long time sitting there just watching other people play. So felt really good to get back out there.
I was going to say, you came back fired up, too. You threw 2 scoreless innings.
Yeah.
So congratulations coming back and being
you.
able to pull that off.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I can't
Thanks.
imagine how that felt.
It was great. I mean, like I said, obviously the first inning getting out there, just the nerves of getting back on the bump for the first time in a while. But getting that first out and settling in was key. And, I had my teammates behind me and I could hear everybody from the bench and I know that they were all fired up. So that was pretty big for me.
Yeah, great segue. How important was your team and your recovery?
Huge. I mean, just being able to be around the team last year was big. It obviously would have been weird if I had to step away for the year or anything like that. Coach Bartoletti and the staff were nice enough to let me stay around, obviously do my rehab and do my throwing with the team and kind of help the coaching staff out last year on that side with what I could. So it was great just to be around them. They got me through every day. It's tough being at the field watching other guys do what you want to do. But kind of watching them and how hard they worked and, how they kept rooting me on through my rehab was, kind of what kept me pushing through to get back for this season. So
you already talked about the dynamic of the team coming into this season. What are some of the things that you guys are focusing on coming into this season?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a larger senior class and a larger freshman class this year. So it's weird that we have kind of this dichotomy of older and experienced players and then obviously a younger group. But I think what our team's really good at is everybody's bought into kind of doing their job top to bottom. So whether that's, you're a starter and you're playing every game or you're coming in to pinch hit and get a bunt down late in the game, both of those jobs, we kind of believe are equally important. That bunt might be the biggest at-bat of the game. Or if you're pinch running and we need you to steal a bag, that's equally huge. So I think we have this good kind of culture of everybody's bought into doing their job, and no job is bigger or smaller than anybody else's because at the end of the day, they're all going to help us win. So I think that's a really important part of our culture and kind of keeps everybody, especially together. And, there's nobody kicking rocks and complaining about playing time because everybody knows what they got to do to help the team win. So it's a good, really good group.
What's the main thing that you think you're thinking about on the mound? Because you're a special type of pitcher being left-handed, and obviously that comes with some weight to it. So what do you think? What are some of the thoughts you're thinking when you're on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, I try and attack the zone, obviously. If you look at the numbers, pitching should be easy. If you throw the ball in the zone, hitters are going to get themselves out.
Right.
So I try and remind myself, you don't have to be too perfect sometimes. Obviously, you don't want to make mistakes over the plate. But at the end of the day, the guys that they're going to fill up the zone with multiple pitches are going to be successful. So kind of being on attack mode all the time, going out and getting ahead of hitters is, going to be the best formula for me to get outs. So kind of being locked in and attacking the hitter always, not trying to work around anybody is definitely important for me.
You kind of brought up with the senior and the freshman, the ratio. I mean, big classes, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you are trying to teach maybe the younger generation to step into your shoes when you leave?
Yeah, definitely. For me particularly, with COVID, it was weird with fifth years coming back and big rosters and all that. So a lot of guys in our grade, really had to wait their turn. And then, my junior year, I'm injured and all this stuff. So there was a lot of times where it would have been pretty easy to throw in the bag and been like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting as much playing time as I would have wanted. But, I think it's important to teach those guys it's going to come. Learn from the guys in front of you. Push those guys in front of you because, you never know when you're going to be needed. Guys are going to get injured. Guys are going to get in a slump, things like that. But, I think that's one of the biggest because, if guys are obviously unhappy about playing time, that could tear a team apart. But I think it's important for those guys to realize, your shot's going to come, so you need to work now so you're ready for it when it does come because you don't know when it's going to come, so you got to stay ready. So, that's something I've been trying to tell them, even through my injury and through the COVID years and everything like that. You don't know when your shot is. So I know it seems easy sometimes to want to give up on some of this work, but you just got to keep putting in the work because when your time comes, you want to be ready.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said any better.
Yeah.
Maybe going on to some inspirations. You said you've been playing ball all your life, so maybe some big athlete inspirations.
Oh man, big athlete inspirations. I don't know. I don't have any particular athletes that I like really model my game off. I kind of like to be unique and kind of be my own pitcher, which is something obviously like my parents are my biggest role models. They taught me kind of everything about being a good person, which is important. But athletics wise, I've kind of always told myself like be me. I don't try and watch videos of other guys and try and copy them or anything like that. I like certain guys like it's funny because I'm a taller guy, but I kind of like guys like Marcus Stroman's mindset. Like some of those shorter guys, they really kind of got that dog in them. They feel a little bit overlooked and they kind of got to go attack. So I like some of those guys mindset wise, but athletics wise, I really try and just be me because there's no one else that is me. So.
How do you think you juggle your schoolwork? Because we were talking a little bit about your major, and your major is kinesiology, right?
Kinesiology, yep.
You're going into a program right after, built in,
yep.
3-year program. So you got a lot on your plate,
yeah,
right? Especially with baseball. And baseball is a pretty intensive sport.
Yeah,
you got to do a lot of thinking.
There's a lot of time.
Yeah. So how do you think you juggled that?
I'm lucky enough. My high school was actually pretty rigorous, and I think they prepped me really well. I went to St. Joe's Prep in Philadelphia, and I think they really did a phenomenal job of prepping me. So time management wise, I felt pretty well versed. But obviously, it's different in college. Like you've got your free time. You're not at high school, the whole day. So I think, learning to get work done in those little gaps, no matter how small they are throughout the day, is going to help you big time. Because if you're waiting to do your homework till after practice, till you get home, shower, dinner, and all that stuff, you're sitting down to do work at 8, 9 o'clock, you'll be up all night. Then you don't sleep well. Your body doesn't feel good the next day. That'll catch up to you pretty quickly. So whether you like it or not, you learn pretty quickly that during those free hours during the day, even if you're just chipping away at your work, like you got to stay on top of it because obviously then school can creep up on you, and school is first over baseball all the time. So.
Do you think you bring anything from your major into your sport?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I think baseball is probably half the reason I wanted to get into physical therapy. My parents taught me a good job growing up of helping other people, and that's also why I want to get into physical therapy. But being an athlete and kind of understanding how the body works in athletics is one of the main things that really interested me in school. So I think, ultimately my goal is to apply physical therapy and biomechanics and eventually work in pro baseball. So, kind of blending the two is something that I've been doing for a while and looking forward to opportunities that hopefully it brings me in the future.
Yeah, I think it's rare that a lot of people can put those two things together, those passions, and really
it's such a growing part of the game too. Biomechanics in baseball and kind of the technology and all that is growing so fast, even just within the past 10 years. Like the development of pitching labs and all these biomechanical assessments and pitching development coordinators and organizations. It's something that I really want to tap into because it's one of the most important parts of the game now. So.
Yeah, you definitely proved that you got the heart for it. Going into a specific example, Sunday, March 3rd.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big day for you.
Yeah, crazy day.
I'm just going to let you go for it. Just kind of rattle off what happened.
Sure. Yeah. So we had a game against Gettysburg, won, which was big. And went home, changed after the game, and was going down to get some food down in town after. My girlfriend and I were driving. We came up to the corner, and we saw, these two women standing and this gentleman down on the ground. Kind of without thinking, I hopped out the car because I could see that something was obviously seriously wrong. Having been through my health profession classes and, being CPR trained and everything like that, it was kind of just second nature. I think everything just took over and I just hopped out and did what I needed to do. So, went over, obviously checked the guy. He was pretty pale and blue, didn't have a pulse. So just started going right away, CPR. Probably about 4 or 5 minutes of CPR on my own until another ER nurse was driving by. He pulled up and helped. And then obviously eventually the paramedics came and took over. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy event. And, I guess through other sources, we ended up finding out the next day that the gentleman actually lived. So that was kind of a big relief, after all that, because it was a pretty crazy thing that happened. So
yeah, that was going to give me my next question. Is have you had any contact with this gentleman?
No, I haven't. I don't know who he is or anything like that. Obviously, we just found out through my girlfriend's dad. His buddy works for Pennsylvania Ambulance, so they get reports back on everybody that they transport. So that's how we found out that he had actually lived and gone to the cath lab and was in recovery. But no, haven't heard from him or anything like that. But I'm just really glad that he he made it through this one. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I was glad that I was in the right place at the right time because other people driving by might not have been trained or I think it's a good thing. Everybody should go get CPR trained. Only takes a day. It's courses and you could save somebody's life. It's really important. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, for the whole community, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Going maybe right into that, what sort of feeling do you get when you walk onto the field and you have like the school on your back?
Yeah, I mean pride. I'm glad to wear purple and white every day. It's this university's done a lot for me, both athletically, academically, socially. Met some of my best friends here. So, I'm going out there, obviously, with the intent of helping out my team. But, obviously, helping out the team means helping out the university. So anything I can do to help us get a win and help Scranton, continue to move up in the landmark is obviously something I take a lot of pride in. And, I don't take that for granted.
What would you tell the greater community to come out and see some of these games? Because you guys have the reputation. You got some of the titles. I mean, you guys are electric to watch. I've personally seen you. Fantastic games, fantastic facilities. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, it's something if you want to bring your kids to, obviously get the younger generation into the game. But it's a great way to spend your weekend. We're out there on the weekends. We have our conference weekend series. And like you said, it's electric. It's good baseball. There's some high-level baseball in the landmark. That's no doubt. We've had, even guys from our own team transferring to high Division Ones. Corey Zintek's at Coastal Carolina. There's some guys from the conference that are playing at Virginia Tech and Maryland and Rice. So it's good baseball if you want to come out and enjoy the game. And like you said, it's fun. We try and bring the energy every weekend. That's one thing that I know I try and get going on the benches. I'm a pretty vocal guy, so we try and keep everybody engaged, whether you're on the team or in the stands. But it's a good time. We'd appreciate the support for anybody who wants to come out.
And you get some bang for your buck. You guys usually play doubleheaders on the weekends,
We
too.
do, yeah. Our usual conference series is double on Saturday and then a single game on Sunday. So they're usually 12 and 3:30 on Saturday and then another noon game on Sunday. So a lot of baseball to be had. We do play midweeks, too. But, yeah, we'd love to see as many people as possible out there.
Fantastic. I mean, get the word out.
Yeah,
get support. I mean, it's going to be a great season. Yeah. Definitely come out and show your support. So this time I'm kind of – definitely one of the better questions. I'm going to really get an insight about you. What's maybe a moment that you can remember in your baseball career that has helped guide you through the rest of it?
Oh, man.
Could be a story. Could be a specific event.
Yeah. Well, why not? I guess we'll get a little bit deep on the podcast. So my dad passed away our freshman year here, and that was in February right at the beginning. And it was the COVID season as it was, so it was weird. Had a lot of fifth years coming back, all this stuff. So I spent about a month home. And, it kind of set me a little bit back, obviously, baseball-wise, because everybody was practicing and all that. And that's just, that's the way it goes. But I think that was a big point for me because, I kind of knew that I had to work myself out of, I guess the hole that I was in kind of, which was nobody's fault, not our coaching staff, not our players, just the way that it worked out. So it kind of gave me that extra kick in the butt, like I knew that I had to work extra hard to get back to a point where I could perform and help the team. And then obviously getting injured and all that, just kind of continued that same trend, like keep working my butt off because I know I want to compete and help this team, and I love my teammates, and so this season's been good for me. I'm glad to be out there and be helping them. So that's definitely been a big thing for me. So.
Hey, well, I'm sorry for your loss.
No, yeah, it's all good, but that's that's the truth. That's life. That's been the one thing that motivates me. So it's been a big part of obviously my whole life, but definitely my athletic career also. So.
Great attitude to have coming into the season. I can't wait to see you out there. Where can we find some of these games coming up? You guys got an Instagram page? Yeah,
so we've got our Instagram. I think it's just Scranton Baseball if you look it up on Instagram. You can go on the website, on the Royals Athletics website, and find our baseball page. They are all streamed through Flow Sports. So if you have an account through there, you can watch the games there. And then, all our home games are down at Volpe Field down at the complex on South Side. So, we'd be excited for all the support that we can get because this will be a big season for us. I like our group, and I think we got a pretty good shot to do something special here.
Absolutely. So. I'm giving this time right for you. If you want to thank anybody, shout out anybody, this is all for you, so go for it.
Yeah, I mean, my parents, they give me the opportunity to come here to a school like this, and, obviously been a big part of my life and facilitated me to play baseball, driving me to travel games and stuff, all that. So, they're the biggest people I'd like to thank. They're the biggest part of my life. Love them.
Absolutely love it. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do for the community. Good luck in this season.
Definitely.
I'm looking to see some strikeouts.
Yeah, definitely. Going to try my best. So
I'll be there on the sideline.
Definitely.
Cheering you on. So, as you heard, follow the baseball account, follow the Scranton Royal Athletics account to get all your updates on when baseball games are happening. As we said, big doubleheaders usually on the weekends, and the conference plays, they're coming up. It's going to be electric. So, as always, thank you so much for joining on the show. It's been the Royal Vision podcast. As always, I've been your host, Alex Taylor, and we'll see you in the next one.